the edible. Either the worst or the best high you'll ever have. Now the edible comes in many different forms. Its first form is the brownie or cookie. This is probably the most basic form. I feel like this form doesn't get me as high as the other forms. The next form is my favorite form, but also my hated. Don't get me wrong, these shits will fuck you up, but ew, the taste. This form is the gummy. Not these gummies, and no, not this little fuck. I'm talking about these gummies. These shits will absolutely fuck you up. These things will hit harder than your dad after having a few beers. Personally, I was a bit foolish with my first edible. Let's just say I was in a kush coma for a few days on end. Now it's a bit risky releasing this video because not many people know this situation. Please don't tell anyone, please! Now that we got that out of the way, let's get into it. This story takes place in my senior year of high school on a Monday in September. I was doing my normal tasks in order to get ready for school. Once I got to school, I went to all my normal classes. Once 4th hour reached, I got to see my boy, Big E. Now, Big E is no normal man. He is a za god. He is one of the funniest people I have ever met and ever seen anywhere. Big E was one of my favorite people that I've ever met. But back to the story. My 4th hour was art, and I'm 100% gonna show off my drawings right here. Me and Big E sat in the class getting absolutely no work done while goofing the entire time. Well, today, I decided that I wanted to do the za, but not just any normal za. I wanted to taste the sweet edible. I asked Big E if he had any way to get his hands on some. He said, I got you. Now there's no one who I trust more than Big E than to get me some za. Later that day after school, Big E hit me up and told me that he could take me to go get the za. So Big E rolled up with this girl and took me to go get the za. Big E asked if I could buy him a blunt for giving me a ride, and I accepted. I'd never let my man down. We rolled up to the za store. I gotta add that I've lived in this town my whole life and I never knew that there was a za store. We entered the za store and oh my gosh, this place was the most holy of places. I wish I could describe how cool this place looked. Hopefully this image does some justice. Oh shit, my bad, that's my basement. Now Big E, the god of za, was showing me everything in this store. There was a bong that was the shape of a shotgun. They had everything you could imagine. Skipping all the side quests that we did in there. The time had come to look at the edibles. Now I can't remember everything they were selling, but they had a lot of options. I ended up buying a pack of edibles for $40. There were 20 edibles in there. Now I was under the impression that I could not buy any because I was 18. Boy was I wrong. I could buy anything in that store except nicotine products. Side note, if you vape, the fuck you doing with your life? I bought the za, plus the blunt that Big E and his girl wanted. They took me home and wished me good luck. I bid them farewell. Once I got inside, I hid the za in my pocket. I went to my room and just played some games till it was about 5 p.m. Once it reached 5, I took 2 edibles. Big E told me to take 1 or 2. Around 30 minutes had passed, and I wasn't feeling a thing. I was under the impression that these edibles ain't shit, so I popped 3 more. Now, if you know your math, you know that I have taken 5. But whoa, it doesn't stop there. Me being the impatient goober that I am, I took a whole 5 more. We are now at a staggering 10 edibles. I think it's a good time to mention that each edible was a whole 125 milligrams. Now if we add that up, we get a whole, 1,250 milligrams. Holy shit, 1,250. Yeah, I didn't know the doses and what the numbers meant at the time. After a little time had passed, I thought I felt something, so I stood up and... Holy shit. I was frozen in time. It's as if I got smited by God himself. Now this was the 3rd time I had ever gotten high, and if you remember, I barely even got high the first time. And the 2nd time, I didn't even feel it. This was a whole 4 years after getting high last. As you could tell, I was royally fucked. After what felt like hours of standing there in silence, I looked at my phone, and it had only been 4 minutes. Now, not all the edibles had hit me at this time, so it gets much worse. I walked over to my chair and started to watch YouTube on the TV. I picked out a really trippy video, and I'll link it here if I find it. After watching the video for a whole 30 minutes, I can say that I felt all the edibles. I was glued to the chair. immovable. With all of my might, I got up and moved to the bed. I grabbed my beats and put them on. I started playing Avenged Sevenfold's new album, particularly their song Nobody made me feel as if I was floating through space and time. As I was listening to the song, I was staring at the ceiling. But that shit was staring right back at me. I just shut my eyes and enjoyed the high for a little bit. Once I finished the album, I texted Big E. I don't remember everything we said, but I remember texting him that water was dry. Now when you're high, your mouth gets dry, of course. Like, extremely dry. Now I took a sip of water to override this feeling, but holy shit. The water was drier than a nun's puss. After I texted him, I had a case of mad giggles. When I say I laughed at anything, I mean I laughed at anything and everything. I remember laughing at the fact that I was high. Now I had school tomorrow, so I needed a shower. So with all my might, I got up and got a shower. I was so high that I couldn't stand for more than 30 seconds. I got in the shower and laid there. At this point, I was in the shadow realm. Nah, I was past the shadow realm. Shit, I was in the back rooms. All of my senses have been amplified to the max. Now, I'm not sure if me getting in the shower made these spidey senses kick in, but shit, I literally felt like I was Spider-Man. My hearing was so good that I swear the water from my shower was singing. After hearing my shower sing, it was time to get out. Oh shit, I can't move. Couldn't move. I was helpless. I was so goddamn high that I couldn't move. I put my hands together and prayed to the Zog gods. I ended up getting out and drying off. Somehow, I also got dressed. I put on the most comfy pajamas and headed to bed. Now remember, this is a Monday, on a school night. But besides that, so normally whenever somebody gets super high, they still feel it in the morning a bit. Well, this lasted a full 4 days. Now I didn't just get up the next day and go to school high. I slept for 3 whole days. The Za quite literally had me in a cush coma. This shit had me hibernating. Luckily, my lovely grandma just thought I got sick and didn't question me sleeping for 4 whole days. I remember the second day of me sleeping, waking up and having a bloody nose. Now I was still high as shit, trying to balance my way to the bathroom. I stuffed the tissue in my nose and fell asleep again. I woke up the 3rd day to use the bathroom, then I fell asleep again. On day 4, I had awoken from my slumber. I woke up in the afternoon and went to the bathroom. I was surprised on how much I was peeing because throughout these 4 days, I had absolutely nothing to eat and drink. My insides were drier than a nun's puss. Wait, I already made that joke. Shit, my humor's dry as fuck. Wait, no. I did. You see, I'm funny, I swear. The fact that I was out for 4 days is insane. And the best part? I was still high. On the 4th day when I woke up, I got on Minecraft. I decided to make a creative world and build some stuff. Now what I built was so goddamn beautiful, I almost climaxed. I built a Japanese dojo. Just saying, that's an actual picture of what I built. I built this shit. I built this shit from scratch with no help. Okay, maybe I looked up a YouTube video, but that's besides the point, man. I built this shit. This is probably the most impressive thing I've ever built. The outside looks so beautiful. Okay, maybe the interior looks like shit, but that's besides the point. After I built it, I went to sleep. I woke up the next day, and I still felt the high. The high was basically gone at that point though, but I still felt it a little. Once Monday had rolled around, I had successfully recovered from the high. If there was one thing I learned from this, it's that you shouldn't do more than 1 edible on your first time in over 4 years. Those shits hit hard. Hey, thanks for all the support on my last 2 videos. I didn't expect those videos to do so good, but surprisingly they did. I really do appreciate all the positive feedback on these videos. Here are some of my favorite comments from the last ones. I couldn't just choose one for this video. If you guys have video ideas you'd like me to create, tell me in the comments. Oh, and I'd like to hear about the highest you guys have ever been. Whoever has the best story will be at the end of my next video. Okay, bye-bye.